always said that home field is big for East Coast teams in the playoffs just because of weather alone. I mean, fans are fans are kind of out for most teams. I'm sure some teams will be able to pull some fans off, which will be huge.
Yeah.
But I think more than anything, if it's an outdoor stadium on the East Coast where they get brutal weather, I've always thought that was a great advantage in the winter.
Yeah, not talking about weather, I would say it helps maybe a little bit in terms of being comfortable. You're sleeping in your own house and all that stuff, but it is less important. I mean, you look at me. I mean, the 12s up there in Seattle, it's like part of our defense.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, we need that noise.
Yeah.
We don't have it. I'm kind of surprised we've done as well as we have, to tell you the truth.
No, you guys bring up some great points. And 40, I think you're right. If you're a northern team, an East Coast team, and you like the cold, I think there is an advantage there to be said. But, here we go in the final couple weeks of the season, and they are fighting for position. And I will say, 40's Eagles did the Rams and the Seahawks and the Packers a favor because the Eagles upset the Saints yesterday 24-21, and it kind of threw a wrench into everything right now.
I mean, if the Eagles can do anything right, it's throwing a wrench into everything.
And the Seahawks also understand that. Thank you.
So as of right now, on this morning, Green Bay is number 1 in the NFC, but only one game back is the Rams and the Seahawks. Anything can happen in these last 3 weeks.
Good teams, but Aaron Rodgers, he is something special. I mean, I really do believe that he is something amazing.
He's having a great year. It's been a lot of fun to watch him this year, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could make a case that he is the MVP, barring something crazy going down these last 3 weeks, because he usually does more with less than any other quarterback out there, outside of maybe Tom Brady the last couple of years. But, he's got Devontae Adams, but really beyond him, there's not like a huge star player on that offense.
If people can get over their love fest for Patrick Mahomes, then maybe Aaron Rodgers can get an MVP, which he definitely deserves this year.
No doubt for me. Patrick, but I mean, that is true. Those are the two quarterbacks that you do not want to face, but I would much rather face Mahomes than Aaron Rodgers. That's me. And that sounds crazy, but that's me.
It's just scary because, Mahomes also has Andy Reid backing him, who's a great coach. The Chiefs are loaded with talent, whereas Green Bay just kind of seems to get it done with what they have.
It's going to get interesting, Pep.
I will say real quick, because I don't want to keep, beating on this for too long, but yeah, Aaron Rodgers should be the MVP this season, but if I'm an opposing team, I do not want to see Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs in the playoffs, because if they have the ball last, you're going to lose. Like, he's going to score on you. That's how it ends. That's how the story ends every single time.
Right.
So far, that is true. They seem to be able, him and Andy Reid can always find out, okay, what, you won't let us run, then fine, we'll pass. Oh, you don't want to let us pass? Okay, fine, we'll run, or whatever. Okay, we'll do the tight end thing. Like the end of the game right there. I mean, they're about to almost lose the game. They roll him out, and Travis Kelce is triple covered. He just fakes like he's going to run, and it creates a little bit of space. He throws a bullet right to Kelce, wins the game.
Yeah, absolutely. They just find a way where they looks like there's no way. So we got the Chiefs, looking like a number 1 in the AFC. In the NFC, we mentioned Green Bay Packers. Those are two cold weather teams. Just saying, if we're looking for the route to the Super Bowl, but a lot can change in the next 3 weeks. The Steelers lost to the Bills on Sunday Night Football, so that was a good game. The Steelers were the number 1. Now they're the number 2. And looking at that big AFC playoff picture, guys, if you're a Raiders fan out there, and I know there's a lot out there across the Inland Empire, a lot of those KCAL Rockers, Las Vegas Raiders are fading right now, and their playoff chances do not look good after losing to the Colts yesterday.
Yeah, the Colts, Phillip Rivers is their kryptonite?
He seems to be. He seems to have their number, right?
Weird.
Yeah, going back to all those Charger days, right? Like, he's played the Raiders more than anybody and beat the Raiders more than anybody. Yeah, the Colts went for an offensive explosion in Las Vegas yesterday, and the Raiders, dropping that game to Atlanta where they got blown out, they just haven't been the same team. Like, they just can't get it together.
And, the Steelers, they're on a couple losses now, too, but let's not forget, COVID has screwed their year up. They had to have an early bye when they weren't supposed to, and then ever since then they've had to go Ironman football. They've had their schedule changed, I think, more than any other team without them actually being affected by COVID. Can they get it back together? I don't know. We knew it was going to be tough for the Steelers when they had to go Ironman all those weeks in a row.
Yeah. And then Buffalo, very tough team. Absolutely. And Josh Allen, very good. Ugh.
Yeah, Buffalo is good. There's a lot of good AFC teams. That race is going to be crazy the last couple of weeks, and we got a great one on Monday Night Football with the Ravens and Browns, and that has playoff implications written all over that game too.
How have the Browns snuck up on us and had so many wins? They just quietly turned into 9-3 or whatever.
This is the game I like to call the identity crisis game.
Okay.
Because one team used to be the other team.
Yeah, that's very true in so many ways.
Yes.
The
Browns used to be. Yeah, you're right. And when you look at it too, the Ravens, there's a chance they might not get into the playoffs. And the Browns might. I mean, that's the most 2020 thing I've ever heard, if that actually happens. Now, Lamar Jackson could go nuts tonight, and they beat the Browns and somehow leapfrog them in the end. But right now, every time I look at the Browns, they're winning. Baker Mayfield doesn't have the greatest stats in the world, but they always find a way to win with that running game. And Nick Chubb, they're good. They're not bad. They're a pretty good team. And you're right, Patrick, they snuck up on us. They got a good record.
They're not. He's not trying to do too much, which is the horrible for Baker Mayfield. It's horrible for Russell Wilson. It's horrible for Kyler Murray. All these running backs, they try to do too much, quarterbacks. It's a disaster.
Well, it's like when they built up the Cleveland Browns. It's like you got Baker Mayfield, you had Jarvis Landry, then you brought in Odell Beckham, and you brought in some big tight ends. It was like, this is going to be the passing game of the NFL, and they never had success with it, and it wasn't until they started feeding Nick Chubb where they actually started getting those wins. So it's like quiet because everybody expected one thing, and you're getting another.
Pound that rock.
Yeah, at the end of the day, you've got to run the football, right? It all goes, don't reinvent the wheel, you got to run the football. Guys, real quick, let's switch to college football real fast because UCLA and USC got together at the Rose Bowl. Number 15, USC, undefeated with a dramatic win, snatching the victory from the Bruins, 43-38. So what does this mean? Well, it means the Trojans are in the Pac-12 title game this Friday against Washington. And guys, if they beat the Huskies and they're undefeated and you're the Pac-12 champion, that's a Power 5 conference. I mean, they have to at least get a little bit of consideration, right, for that 4-team national playoff. I mean, at least a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to be put in the run.
I got to say, shout out real quick to our guy Kono, who big SC fan, and since having his daughter in this world, SC is now undefeated.
Yeah, she's the champion, apparently.
He had her, she's like a week old. He had her all decked out in USC gear. It was awesome.
And look at them, they're on fire.
That's not by coincidence. A new baby in the house, in the Kono household, and USC doing some big things there. So, I don't know. We'll see what happens. First, they got to beat Washington, and then we'll see where the chips fall after that for the college football national playoff. And finally, guys, to the NBA, the preseason is underway, and some things never change. The Lakers have beaten the Clippers twice already in preseason play without LeBron James, without Anthony Davis. So I know it's only preseason basketball, but even the Lakers bench players are looking really good.
Good. That's what we needed. I mean, the knock on them last year was like they had a couple of guys, but they were shallow. So, I mean, if they got some depth this year, let's go for a run.
I mean, yeah, it looks like the rest of the team even kind of just beat the Lakers, you know?
Yeah, you're exactly right.
I mean, the Clippers.
Beat the Clippers, yeah.
You know
I
what
mean, the Lakers are deep. They went out and got some new guys. They got a great bench. They're going to be really good. They got 2 more games against the Phoenix Suns, and that's it. The preseason's over, December 22nd. Here we go, NBA regular season.
And opening night's against the Clippers again, right?
Yeah. No, I mean, Clippers got a new head coach, okay, right? Tyronn Lue. They didn't really tinker with the roster too much. I mean, we'll see. We'll see what the Clippers do here.
They extended Pandemic P, as he's being called now. Not even Playoff P anymore.
Yeah, Paul George got his money, but we'll see. I don't know. He's a great player. I don't know if he's a superstar, but he's a good player.
They say he's very good regular season.
Yeah, he's regular season P.
The Clayton Kershaw of the NBA.
Pep's our all-timer. Pep, tell me how to get your stuff.
Sorry, Dodger fans. Inland Sports, all over social media. Please don't tweet at me, you Dodger fans. Inland Sports social media. We got the YouTube channel as well.
Spat.